project like Veterans Expeditions Overland is like a metaphor for life. It can be too easy to look towards the future and where you want to be, and not look at the hard work it takes to reach that point. By getting veterans who suffered from the effects of their service involved in a long-term project, it allows them to grow as individuals with support from their peers. There is a real value in hard work and challenging yourself each day to achieve more. This is also true for this series, as it would have been too easy to start this channel by showing the end product of us on expedition rather than the hard work that it took to get there. We were incredibly lucky on this project to have a great team with vast knowledge from their time serving in the armed forces, which helped those around them move forward. We hope you can continue the journey with us through the build process and then on to our expedition, driving from the UK to Greece and back with a group of veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress.
Okay, we've now cut off the rear chassis after jigging it all up. We've jigged it all up in the new piece all up into place, ready for welding, and we're just about to weld it.
So what we've managed so far, we've got all the suspension, as I said in the last video, is all done. What we're working on at the moment is the boring bits of the bushes, so stuff like on the back of your radius arms and on inside of your radius arms. We're going to polybush those. Further back, the guys have been hammering like you wouldn't believe on the panhard rods at the back. They're just in the process of pressing them out and pressing new bushes in. And this is just a long, boring part. It's things like this that we're going to replace for polybush sets. So instead of having the standard rubber, we're going to have like a plastic polybush which will last much, much longer. We haven't done much more on the actual disco body itself because we've been concentrating on getting the chassis turned around ready for the steam cleaning and jet washing that's going to happen probably next week now. The guys here have been frantically hammering and measuring and trying to make sure that they get the rear of the Land Rover in place. By the looks of it, I heard a bit of a whoop-whoop celebration about 3/4 of an hour ago, which I take to mean that they managed to get it all jigged up. You can see that they've put tack welds to hold it in place on the chassis down here, and so that will hold it in place ready for them to come along in the morning and weld it all in good and proper. As you can see, it's not the easiest of tasks to do. The lads have done really, really well with this. It's not something that your average DIYer would be able to do. It just sort of speaks to the skill of the lads that they can do this sort of thing. Proof will be in the pudding when we come to put the body back on, because these plates screw directly onto the back of the tub. But I'm confident that they've done it.
At the moment we're trying to get the old bush out. It's turning out to be a bit of a pig, so at the moment we're trying different methods. At the moment we're going to go for trying burning out the rubber and then cutting through this outer casing here. And once it's out we can replace it with the new bushes supplied by Terra Firma to be able to fit for the vehicle for a better comfortable ride.
So this used to be my Defender, this did. Look what I've done to my motor.
whether I should pull too hard on this back bit.
Look at that. This is going to be one hell of a vehicle when we finish it. As you can see on the back end there, Rob's put on the new cross member on the back there. There's Billy looking for a driving seat on the wrong side. Then you see, don't lean too heavily on there, lads, the welding's just been done. It's just with great sadness that not long after filming, Billy, who you see steering the Defender, lost his name. This hurt us all, and we later put his name on the finished vehicle, so he is always with us. Rest in peace, Ian Billy Rutherford.
And what we've got so far, you can just see behind me, is the chassis of the Discovery. We've managed to fully polybush it, cleaned it all down, new suspension on it, stripped out, ready for new brake lines, pipes, all that kind of good stuff. Ready for steam cleaning and painting, chassis treatment. The Defender, we've stripped down, as you can see. We've cut off the rear cross member. We've welded a new one on, all in place, all measured up and jigged up properly. And what we're doing at the moment is just to release Stu's workshop. We've managed to get hold of a storage unit, and we're just going to put the stuff in here until we can get the volunteers back together again in a few weeks. Source some more spares, and then we'll have some more interesting videos for you. So a couple of thank yous that have to go out are to the Masonic Charitable Foundation. Without them, the funding for this project wouldn't be possible. We'd also like to thank Terra Firma for the parts that they've provided so far for the Discovery and the Defender. And we'd like to thank Maltings for the parts that they've provided for the build so far. And we'd like to thank Stu Ward for the use of his workshop and all the time that he's given up. He's been brilliant. Everybody on this build has been absolutely fantastic. Hi guys, Mac here again. We're at the nearly at the end of the last or third day of the build, and if you have a look around the workshop, you can see we've still got the Discovery up on the two poster ramps. All of the other gear, everything's been taken away and put into the VIA storage. The Discovery that was conspicuous in its absence over here is gone. The Land Rover that's behind there has nothing to do with us. But what we have realised, for convenience sake, we were originally going to put the Discovery body back on the chassis, but because we've not managed to paint the chassis in time for it to be able to cure and do all the bits and pieces properly, what we've opted for is the lads have decided to knock up a bit of a dolly so that we can drop the body straight on it and we can leave the chassis separate. That way we can steam clean it properly and we can paint it properly. So what the guys have done is they've sourced some old scaffold tubes. And as you can see, Rob's just in the process of welding some legs onto it. Tom's in the process of making some brackets for the wheels to go on. And the idea is that it'll be turned over. We'll drop the Discovery onto it, and we'll be able to ratchet strap the two together, and we'll be able to put it into storage until we're ready to take it back out and finish the welding work that needs doing on the body, and obviously the work that needs doing on the chassis. So I'll catch up with you a bit later on. Catch you later. Bye bye.
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then please follow us on Facebook and Twitter